These are the best cases for the iPhone SE 2. I guarantee you'll find one that works for you, and one day you'll find true love. Well, 2 out of 3 of those things are true. So let's check it out.
Let's begin with one of my favorites, the dbrand grip case. Not only does the matte black finish win me over, the sci-fi, alien-like, but symmetrical design on the inside looks wicked for like the 4 seconds you'll see it before installing your phone. But I do appreciate the lack of branding on the outside because of that. They've updated their buttons to be quite clicky now, and the texture helps with feeling them out as well. It's got a thick tushy around back to keep that eyeball safe, and plenty of space around ports for easy access. It's a fairly run and gun standard case until you check out these race stripes on the sides. These rubber patches are slightly tacky, they don't stick out, and in combination with the lowered bezels around it, just feels great when mindlessly scrolling through TikTok. I know you know what I mean. And the all matte black finish doesn't hurt either, especially if you're a hand sweater. Now, I'm a fan of anything naked, just like this case. It's simple, minimal, and sure, kind of boring. But thankfully, it wouldn't be a dbrand case without the option to customize. Installation is pretty simple. It's like placing a sticker into your daily diary entry. The one I've got here is the matrix skin, a blacked out honeycomb-like design, and a matte black finish, of course. It's got a very slight texture to it that gives it a premium, like money well spent feel, but they also cater to more eccentric characters, white marble if you like looking like a fancy washroom, or their swarm design, which mildly triggers my trypophobia. Don't worry, there's plenty to choose from, even your favorite Asian color. Bamboo. The case itself offers some decent protection as well, with this fat lip around the front along the top and bottom, and while I'm not sure why you'd ever do this, just know it can handle it. But for the rest of you butterfingers though, it's also got you covered. It's a simple looking case with grippy features built in that don't get in the way. Plus, there's this trippy matrix design option. What more can you ask for in a case? This one is for the Apple fanboys, the classic Apple silicone case we all know and kind of like, but not really. However, it's one of the few cases that can legally stamp this bitten Apple onto a case. It's completely covered in silicone on the outside, covered buttons that stick out and give a decent clicky response, a thick enough backside to keep your lens lifted, but the bottom is completely cut out. Great for accessing, but not so great for scratch resistance, although the corners do keep the phone lifted here too. It's grippy, there's no fingerprints, and it's a fairly slim case. So it's not a bad case, it's just not a case that's worth it in value. But if you're an Apple fanboy, that really doesn't matter because the Apple logo is what counts. Overall, the case is a huge dust magnet from pockets or just setting it onto your grimy table. It offers scratch resistance at best, but it does have a lip around the front screen. So if you love and must use all things Apple, I highly recommend you get the silicone case over the leather case. You won't regret it. This gem isn't marketed for the new iPhone SE, but it will fit. At a cost. The original Apple Smart Battery case, aka the Hump, essentially is the Apple silicone case with a battery stuffed inside it. It's a passive battery case, which means it's always on and constantly charging your iPhone. There's no buttons or indicators on the outside of the case, and honestly, that's what I prefer. The case just gives me more juice during the day, and I don't have to remember to turn it on or off. It just works. Yes, you do get the added chin on top of the SE's home button chin, but they do offer front-facing speakers now that mildly do a better job. It takes a single lightning input to charge both your phone and the case, and you've got that silicone finish that I mentioned earlier is just great to feel up. Plus, what a lot of people don't consider about this Hump design is that it cuts down on as much wasted space as possible, and because of that, it's actually pleasant to hold onto. But for me, it also doubles as a finger shelf to help maneuver the phone easily around my hand. It's got a slight lip around the screen and does add some weight to the phone, which can be good or bad, but for the already tiny size, really isn't a deal breaker. Plus, it makes it feel solid, like nothing will fall apart, and there's no cheap plastic or rattling anywhere. In my opinion, this is Apple's best valued case. However, it does come at the cost of wireless charging, but who cares about that anyways? You've basically got double the battery now. Another all-time favorite, the Spigen Thin Fit, simply because, well, as the name suggests, it's thin, but also their soft matte finish that feels a little sticky, not like I touched the door handle and not sure why it was sticky kind of sticky, but more like this doesn't slide around in my hand when I'm swiping right on Tinder while on the toilet kind of sticky. The slim design means you actually don't notice any bulk, and they go as far as having cutouts for all buttons and ports, so you're still interacting with the actual iPhone, all while still being thick enough around back to keep your lens safe as well. And there's just enough on the bottom to keep it lifted, but by no means is this meant to be a very protective case, as it only has a tiny lip around the screen but lacks any further impact resistant features. This is for the minimalists who want to stay slim, add some scratch resistance at best, and to just feel confident while holding their iPhone, which is otherwise just a very slippery piece of glass. Now, some of you like to remind the world, your friends, or your parents who probably paid for the phone that you own an iPhone, and that's what clear cases are for, like the X-Doria Defense Shield, one of the most intense clear options available. Why, you may ask? Well, this red ring around the case is actually metal. So not just another boring clear case to see what's on the inside, the case itself is actually pretty badass. In usage, buttons are raised and clicky, the camera lens protected with the metal frame, and plus, my favorite part about any clear case, customization, like with dbrand skins and this hypnotizing black camo. Hot damn. Combine it with the defense shield though, oh my, I think I just wet myself. Come on, you can't tell me MKBHD wouldn't be all over this. It doesn't end there. The speaker does redirect to face forward, although it doesn't make a huge difference, but the case does offer some decent shoulder pads. Even on the inside, there's air pockets to help with impact protection. Alongside with the sturdy metal frame, you're covered on the daily. Plus, the straight edges on the case feel great to wrap your fingers around too. It's something to actually grasp onto. The case does come in a few options like this iridescent for some unicorn vibes, and the classic black, which you can never go wrong with. So show off all you want while staying protected. Next, probably one of the only folios I can stand using, the 12 self SurfacePad, because it's just this, a thin piece of leather, and uses some magical sorcery to just stick onto the backside of the iPhone. It's literally a flap of leather wrapped around your phone, but a really detailed and clean looking one. And don't worry, I know what you're thinking, but I've scientifically tested how well it stays stuck, and I've concluded that it ain't going anywhere. Although it's already mighty thin, the front flap still offers 2 card slots, great for an ID or points card, stuff that can't be digitized. Plus, you can fold it open and well, bam. The case also doubles as a stand. Of course, one main benefit of any folio is complete coverage of the screen, which is no different here. When dropped face down, you've got a 50-50 chance you're completely covered, which is 50 more chances you get with any other case. However, the big trade-off for how slim this case is, no edge protection whatsoever. I personally love it because that means you can actually use this one-handed still, but I can see why some may be worried if they tend to drop everything they touch. If you're like me and never drop anything despite what you see on camera, then you'd probably appreciate how everything folds flat when in use, making it manageable one-handed. Easily the thinnest folio case available. Now, if you love the outdoors, swinging on ropes, and whatever people do outdoors, then the quad lock case is meant for you, specifically for their unique mounting system. It does jut out a bit like a bulging pimple on the back of your iPhone, but it's well worth it when you pair it with their system of accessories like the wall mount. Pop it in, twist, and no matter how many push-ups you can do, you will not be able to separate these lovebirds. That is until you simply twist again, and ta-da! It's their range of accessories that make this case worth considering, like this minimal belt clip. It takes security one step further with this blue clip that actually locks it in from twisting on its own, which makes it a 2-step process to unleash now, so no accidental drops, which is super important for things like their motorcycle mount, where you don't want to be going like 13 kilometers an hour and having your phone fly away. And it works just as well for when I'm moving a little slower than that, for what I call jogging, others may call crawling and desperate for air. Finally, their new metal ring attachment means that when you don't need an actual mount, it's still useful as a finger grip too that, yes, doubles as a convenient stand as well. The case itself isn't too shabby either, button coverage with good clicky response, coverage around back, with some thick lips around the front. It can handle your day-to-day, less adventurous days just as well as it does on the road. And I ain't one to complain about this matte black finish either. Finally, another functional option, this is the Speck Presidio wallet. And if the name didn't spell it out for you, it's a wallet case. This cutout around back holds up to 3 cards, and one of the best to do so in my opinion, thanks to the rubber lining on the inside and my very eloquent shake test. Then taking cards out is simple with the fairly large thumb cutout. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This rubber is so great, even if you can only afford 1 credit card, it's held in place just as securely. The slight downside though, the case is just as thick whether you have 1 or 3 cards in it. Not a huge problem as this case isn't too thick to begin with, considering it's storing 3 cards inside of it. It's got a plastic exterior finish, rubber button covers, zippers, and coverage for your camera and ports. Standard stuff, it's still manageable one-handed when packed in, and although not a matte finish, it's still way better than the glass finish. Where it doubly shines though is its thick lip around the screen, as the case utilizes a rubber and plastic shell combo with plenty of air pockets on the inside for impact absorption. Cards stay in place and your phone has an extra bounce to it thanks to all that extra rubber. A clean and simple wallet case to store all your Digimon cards.
So let me know in the comments what case you're going to be rocking for your new iPhone SE 2. Anyways, that's it. I rest my cases.